you know, well, it looks like there's more people joining, so.
Okay. So is Brian from Essex or Essex Savings?
No.
Okay.
So I believe he is a budding property owner.
Okay.
Good evening. Yes, it is Brian Fallon. Hi.
Hi.
Brian.
We're so far having an unofficial meeting because we don't have a full quorum of our committee, but happy to wait another till 7:10, I guess, but everybody got outside and forgot to do their job tonight, you know. So nice to have warm weather again. It's like, yes.
It's a tease.
Yeah. Go look at the crocus and
Edie, what, are we missing 4 people?
yeah, so we should have Bud and Dave and Mike.
Mike and
Ray.
Ray.
Yeah. I should tell you, Deb, that although Steve Calcagni was approved to join our group, he decided to decline because he was worried about a conflict of interest. So
Right, I
he
did
is a
see that.
developer, and he actually originally wanted to build something on the Essex Savings Bank property.
That's right. Okay.
So, he is just going to join us as an individual on occasion. So,
Okay. All right.
but yeah, I mean, I think maybe we should just have a conversation and do a short meeting. And do you want to talk about what you're finding out, Deb, or what would you like to do?
I really haven't, I'm somewhat focused on the Big Y proposed project. So that seems to be my part of the committee right now. So I was just going to remind people of the public hearing on the 23rd at 6 o'clock. And I did look up the agenda is posted and the link is there. There's quite a few other items of business that day, but I just wanted to remind people of that. And I did see that there was some communication on Limeline regarding this proposed project too. And I think it's kind of aligned with our group. Didn't respond to Limeline. I was going to wait and talk to you tonight and see, because I see on our agenda that there was a position that we would take, and how would we execute that position. So I didn't do anything with the Limeline responses.
Okay.
And it does seem like, Edie, that they would need perhaps you or someone just to kind of give them some information on our stand, because, a lot of people that I've talked to have said, well, what's going to be done? All of this was supposed to be done. And there's a lot of confusion out there. So I'm not sure how to really get the word out, but I think it's just imperative to get the word out regarding the public meeting.
Okay.
Ray's joined, Edie.
Oh, hi, Ray. Okay, getting closer.
We can't see her, hear you. We can't see or hear you, Ray, but
Unmute. How's that?
okay.
That's a good start.
I should be able to see me, or maybe not. Let's look.
Did you start your
Start
video?
my video. There we go.
There you go.
Should see me in a minute.
There you are.
Okay. Alive and well.
You getting a new tool? You getting new tools for the spring, Ray? That I could borrow?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Always.
okay. You know, it's spring, you need a lot of new tools.
Oh, yeah, Harbor Freight.
Certainly need to borrow them.
So we have 4 out of 7 people. Does that count as a quorum? I think it does, right?
We have 4, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a quorum.
So why don't I officially start with a call to order to the meeting, and can I have a motion to approve the minutes from last month, from February 11th?
I'll make that.
I'll second it.
Howard made the motion, Ray seconded. And I think, you know, the first order of business for the Halls Road Improvements Committee is to discuss the Big Y Express proposal. And we have with us today Greg Shook and Lynn Giroux from Essex Savings Bank. And, you know, I'm going to just dive in here and say that we are in the middle of doing a master plan, mainly because we heard loud and clear from many residents in Old Lyme that besides just putting in a sidewalk, they wanted to see improvements to what is pretty much a strip center along Halls Road. And with that, we have now engaged the BSC group to help us create a master plan that would include rezoning and also include design guidelines and work to create more of a town center with buildings up close to the road as opposed to 60-foot setbacks in the commercial area that exists today. I think with that in mind, one of my biggest concerns is putting in a gas station on this property goes in exactly the opposite direction of what we were trying to get to. We're trying to bring things closer to the road, not further away. And we're trying to create more of a community setting than a gas station filling area for the highway. So this is something that came up a couple months ago in one of our meetings, and we are concerned that this is not the best solution for that property. Of course, the problem is that, you know, you have property to sell at Essex Savings Bank, and we also really love the Big Y, but trying to put a gas station in this area creates a situation which is unlikely to ever change. Once you put a gas station in somewhere, you've got tanks in the ground that are probably no new developer ever wants to get rid of. It's an expensive project to do. And it's also not really in the character of Old Lyme, which is what we're striving to make Halls Road change to, as opposed to being the strip center that you see today. So for us, it's a concern. We wish we could have gotten our master plan up and running faster and the rezoning faster. So folks who really did want to build some residential mixed use situations could get to that, but everything takes time. So that's where we are today. Anyone else want to add to that?
Well, I would just building on what you said. One of the things we did is, you know, the EDC conducted a business and residence survey in 2019, and there were a lot of Halls Road issues addressed in that. And the biggest concern that residents had was for us to make sure that we were making improvements to Halls Road that would fit, quote unquote, the character of Old Lyme. And it's, I'm just from what I'm reading in the press, certainly that's not definitive. And, you know, just because you have a couple of people write in, that doesn't necessarily reflect what the community thinks. But our indications are that this, you know, would not be fitting the character of Old Lyme. And as Edie said, we, you know, I mean, the purpose of the master plan is to make sure that we are encouraging businesses that do fit in the character of Old Lyme. Now, we also, you know, want to have good relationships with the businesses on Halls Road, and we've made efforts to get their input. So, we do want to balance it out, and we do want to attract businesses to town. So, where we are cognizant of that too. And I just might add, it's when you sit back and look at what's going on. I was just reading about the Lucid car company, which will be actually putting cars in the market at the end of the year. And they have right now technology that will allow you to charge an electric car at home, get 300 miles and do it in 20 minutes. So that technology is just right around the corner, and those cars will be there. And so you look at that, you look at GM, phasing out, and the other legacy car companies with plans to move toward electric. Does a second gas station on Halls Road meet the needs of the community? And it would seem to me that certainly we probably don't have the demand to support a second gas station. So basically what it's going to serve is the traffic flow on 95, which could create additional traffic, could create trucks, it could just not generate other business in town, but it's really for the people just traveling on 95. So we probably just batted you over the heads right now with a whole bunch of issues, but we should really give you the time to address those. And we realize that, look, you're in business, you have property you want to sell, and that's very legitimate. So we want to make sure that we're listening to all sides. And but as Edie and I have laid out, I think that's kind of where we're focused at the moment and just how we see the issue.
I'm wondering if I could just pile on just a little bit more, if that's okay. Because I did start a petition to get the public hearing, and some of the information that I came across in doing that was part of the Gale study that was done on Halls Road. And what really occurred to me is that, people are talking about traffic and all, but really nobody's talking about the environmental impacts. That piece of property is between two rivers, the Connecticut River and the Lieutenant River. Everybody knows that. And the proximity that this huge gas station with, a building, a convenience store that's the size of, a Cape house anywhere in town, and the roadway going out to 156 off Halls Road, the amount of pavement that's going to be there, and wetlands, of course, will be discussing this with the spotted salamanders. And I happened to just joke with somebody about the salamanders, and then they did bring it up when they were talking about it, because I believe on the neighbor's property there are spotted salamanders. But anyway, so and then the major duplication of services that are on that road currently, it will destroy the current businesses that are there. Andy's Market, the gas station that has just become a mobile station. So that is up and ready to go. So that is not the old crappy shell anymore. That is going to be improved upon. We know that. And then I also want to say, has anybody seen what this is actually going to look like? There is a Big Y fueling station in Manchester, Connecticut, that is not really in fitting, of course, with Halls Road, to say the least, but it really does serve as a truck stop. I'm going to say that again because the company that Big Y uses and out of Springfield, Massachusetts, has fleet services. So we can't be guaranteed that it's not going to be, used for fleet. And like Edie had said, it is going to be a major pull off 95. Everybody likes cheap gas. Everybody gets it. We can go to Costco or whatever. But this is really going to be for people pulling off and on the highway because there's no other area to pull off until you get to Madison, I think. And then, you know, I'm wondering if they're going to want to be open 24 hours. That's something else that we have to consider. I mean, zoning will have to deal with that. But I just wanted to say, if anybody wants to see what this is going to look like, drive up to Manchester and you'll be able to see it.
I had a question, Deb. You mentioned the new mobile station. Is that, do you know if that's under the same ownership or is it changed ownership or what's the story there?
I do not. I was real surprised when I saw that, but you know, I can't, I'm going to look into it. I'll look into it and see what I can find out.
Or you mentioned that they were going to approve it. Is that something that you've heard or?
Only the interior, the convenience, the store that they have right now. I haven't heard anything on the garage bays.
Okay, thank you.
Well, the other thing that should be remembered is that L/mobile station had been trying multiple times to get a convenience store in there, and they've been turned down because the town zoning did not want a truck stop type of gas station situation. And again, the convenience store would be serving more for highway traffic than it would be for local traffic. And that is a precedent that's been set, and I'm hoping that it will help us maintain the ability to have something better on that site. I mean, I think, the whole idea is that there's going to be new development on Halls Road, and we're in favor of that, but we're in favor of things that make sense to the town as opposed to the highway. So that's where we are. Greg or Lynn, would you like to chime in at all and tell us your thoughts about this? I'm sure you've been
Sure.
working
I
on it.
don't know if anybody else wants to chime in before I say anything. First of all, thanks. Nice to meet you all. Lynn obviously had participated with you folks in the past when we were looking at what was happening in that area. But we did have to put the property up for sale because we decided to invest in the, we spent over $1.3 million on improve the aesthetics of our Halls Road facility. And clearly we're very invested in the quality of life and the health of the people and the businesses and all the areas we serve. They're all our clients. We had these folks came in. We signed a contract with them to go, and they are currently going through the process, as you know. On the 23rd, they have the inland wetlands. I'm not sure when the zoning goes through. So because it's a private transaction, I really can't say much, but we certainly want, when I called Edie today, and I wanted to make sure she understood that we certainly care deeply and support the Old Lyme community. And we even talked about the sidewalks would be great. We're still going to be a citizen there, but we're going to have to let the process go forward. So that's really all I can say.
Okay. Brian, you are a butter to this property. Would you like to say anything or?
Not really, not at this point in time. I'm just waiting for the inland wetlands because they've got quite a bit of say of what is going to go on, especially with 25 Neck Road. So I've been aware of this program, this Halls Road improvement, and I've been to the various displays and everything that you've had, especially after the Yale bits and pieces. And I'm sort of on the fence about what should go on that area. When Edie went to the zoning 2.5 years ago, they seemed very, very positive, especially under Jane Cable, and she was very interested in it. And it seemed like she was shovel ready to put through some zoning if you brought something to it. But listening to the zoning today when it was released, it just seems that they've stepped back a bit about what they're prepared to do with the zoning there. So I'm pretty open at this point, and I'm just going to reserve my comments and just see how it all goes. I actually spoke to the Essex Bank, I think it was 3 years ago, about,
I
yeah,
remember
hi.
talking to you, Brian.
Yes. So it's basically, you know, as I said, you know, I'm just sitting on the fence at the moment, just waiting to see how it all falls out. I think it's going to be quite a while to go through the town.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you, would you like us to depart? And you can have, you know,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that we have much more to talk about. I mean, I appreciate you guys coming to hear what's going on this end of the world. And I understand that, you know, you have a contract with these guys and it has to play its way out. You know, we would love to be able to put the brakes on, of course, and wait till we have our master plan in place and get the rezoning running, so that there's more opportunities. I mean, you guys are stuck with this commercial zone too, and you know, as it becomes more of a mixed use, residential and commercial, that will open up more opportunities. If this gas station falls through, it'll open up more opportunities for Essex Savings Bank to see something different than a gas station there. So, but yeah, I think we probably need to finish up with our group, and you're
Well,
welcome to stay if you want.
Lynn and I will excuse ourselves.
Absolutely.
We just want you to know that we care about what's going on in Lyme, and we want to remain a good citizen. And
I mean, we appreciate it. We didn't mean to look like we're beating you up, but and like I say, we understand. You know, you have a business to run, and if it's the best interest of your business to sell the land, and then that's what you're going to do. So there's nothing personal or anything about it, and we appreciate the bank and hope to continue good relations with them no matter what happens.
yeah, we looked at obviously building a bigger building there, a whole host of things, and then we decided to invest in the spot we had. And unfortunately, banks, believe it or not, cannot hold property unless it has a business use. So we put it for sale. So
Sure,
just for
we
your,
understand.
okay.
Thank you.
Edie, I just had a quick question before I sign off. Just regarding our properties that were for sale, because it's been on the market for quite some time. Did your group have any conversations with other developers or anything regarding the property before, you know, this consummated to this point?
You mean in terms of getting to a master plan?
Well, I think you said they had one individual that recused himself because he was looking at our property. There was, I can tell you, Lynn, we had 5 or 6 people look at it. We approached folks in the neighborhood who thought we might be interested, and we just sat there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. I was just curious.
Yeah, and it's not really the Halls Road Improvements Committee's job to solicit developers. So we want to make it so that it's a more likely situation, given the climate these days, that residential is really the only thing that's thriving in the real estate world. And you know, a mixed use situation so we can maintain our commercial center and maybe bring it into the 21st century as something more like a town center, with better zoning and different types of setbacks, densities, heights. that's what we're hoping to get out of our master plan. And you know, the only thing the town is going to be doing is changing the connectivity into more pedestrian ways and bike ways. They are, you know, that's the only thing that we can do as a town is deal with the right of way and hope to inspire new development that will, you know, bring a better look to our only real commercial center here, you know. So there's stuff down on the beaches, but it's not quite as viable as what's here. So we want to hold on to that. We don't want to lose good businesses. We want to make it more possible for them to thrive, as opposed to what's going on now after COVID is a little frightening to everybody, I'm sure. So,
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for
Best
coming.
of
I hope
luck.
we speak with you again.
We'll sign off.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye now.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Would you like me to leave as well? But the fact that it's being recorded, I'll be watching it tomorrow or whenever it gets posted.
Okay.
So would you like me to leave?
No, I don't think you have to leave. I think it was just because they are kind of an interested party. It's more of an issue than a local citizen. So,
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, you have the right to stay, you know, it's a public meeting, so
yeah,
we shouldn't be, you can stay as long as you want and listen to whatever you want.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I think Howard, I think your conversation about the electric car is absolutely right on point, because as Edie said, you know, once those tanks are in the ground, this is a place that stays, in maybe not in exactly the same form. But I think Ford has even said in Europe that they're not selling anything but electric cars after 25.
Yeah,
That's
and GM too.
That's 4 years from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well,
no, it's not tomorrow. I mean, it is tomorrow that we're
That's
talking.
right. It's not a nebulous time in the future.
That's right.
The Lucid is going to give Tesla a run for the money, and they've spent billions of dollars in this technology, and they have it. They're building cars right now, and they're going to have them in. So imagine you can go 300 miles on a 20-minute charge from your home. That's a huge paradigm shift. And, you know, just the long-term need for the traditional gas stations is just going to disappear. And, you know, we want to have a viable business district. And does it really going to be able to support 2 gas stations? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think residents will feel that it fits the character of the town, you know, which is the most important element that they expressed in this project.
Yeah.
They do have charging stations on their plan.
They do. Yeah.
They do.
There's 2 charging stations. Yep.
Yeah. Still in one
But
here.
it's really about the gas tanks. I think it's just, you know, I mean,
Right,
if I
and-
could have my choice, I would have a convenience store close to Halls Road and a gas station behind it and get rid of the Shell station. But that's not going to happen, you know?
No.
I mean,
No.
that's just not
Look
gonna
at, we
happen.
have the gas station down on 156 down at the beach, the old Gulf station. I
Yeah.
mean, look at
It's
that.
still there, isn't it? Yep.
It's going to be there for a very long time. So I am very disappointed at Essex Savings Bank that, you know, they want to remain good neighbors. And, you know, I'm very disappointed that, you know, that they're just, you know, going to sell this out on something like this. Like, you know,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
to start after all. Just
I
kidding.
mean, you know, put a gravel pit there. That's about what they're doing. I mean, it's
Well, it's
really
interesting. Greg told me earlier that there used to be the old Saybrook oil company there that had tanks there. He
Really?
didn't know if they were above ground or not. I don't remember that. I remember even further back in the 60s, there was a
right. Someone
there
from the
was a
town
big
hall told me
stone
that too.
foundation that was
Right.
an old factory kind of a building,
Right.
so a barn.
But seriously, if you want to see what it's going to look like, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
you can actually Google it right on, just go to
Yeah.
Google Image on Big Y Express and see that.
Oh, that's a good idea. I was
It's
trying to.
just- yeah, it's not pretty.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, it's typical of a, gas convenience store situation. It's just not really what we want here. I mean, we've already got, I noticed Mobile's got a lit sign up now, which is also not something that I think we really wanted, but I think it'd be interesting to find out who's running that situation now. But and also I think we could move on to, unless somebody wants to make some official proclamation here. I think we made our stance to the Essex folks pretty clear.
I think, I think it would be appropriate for us to, we don't have authority. We're not the Wetlands Commission or zoning or planning. But I think, from our point of view, what our goals are to have a long-term viable plan for Halls Road that meets the character of Old Lyme, because that's what we've been told by the residents, then this is not a good fit. So I think we can, word a motion to that effect and, go on record that, our interpretation is that it doesn't meet the needs of the community and that it's premature because we don't have a master plan yet that would address this kind of issue.
Okay, does anyone
But
want
I
to?
think we should discuss that. And I'm just coming off the top of my head with some wording, but we might have refined that. Or go ahead, Ray. You were going to say something.
No, I think it's an excellent idea. I mean, we're a town committee, so, we don't have much
Right.
power, but we can say what we need to say. And
Mhm.
I agree with you that it may reinforce zoning or planning, who can do something specific to this.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think like you say, Howard, we can, in the next week or so, we can work a draft around and try to get, some language that is agreeable for all of us without having to wait for the next, because that meeting is on the 23rd, right? So we don't have,
23rd,
Yeah.
6th, that's right.
we only have
And I think that's a good idea, or I was thinking we could do it tonight, but Ray, I think your idea is better because we are missing, at least 3 other people on the committee. And, we just don't want to, we could do it, we have a quorum, but I don't think it's right really with that many people missing. But perhaps we can do this by, as you say, by email, so we get it out in a timely way, but let everyone else weigh in on it. And that way we could also think through exactly the wording, would be appropriate. And again, we can't blame these people, we kind of beat them up somewhat, but, they're running a business.
Yeah.
And probably if any one of us were, working for that corporation and we were given the charge of selling their land and they have a good opportunity and a deal that meets their needs, they're going to do it. Yeah, I understand that. So it's a shame that it's occurring right now and that it didn't,
I know.
another month or so when we have the plan, and the timing is just unfortunate, but so be it. But yeah.
Well, it's not a done deal yet anyway. I mean, this may be something that takes a lot longer than anyone expects either. So we may all mesh at the same time. Who knows? I mean, you still have zoning, you still have planning, you have all of
Well,
those.
Edie, I since I'm on that, zoning subcommittee, such as it is,
Yeah.
I was just thinking it would only be our architectural guidelines that would potentially shoot this down, right? I mean, I know we're
Actually, yeah. So this is maybe a good segue into the BSC because they are not going to be here today because they're busy working on the plan.
Before you do that,
Yeah.
could we should I make a motion? I was thinking of making a motion that we work on a draft to address this gas station, that we circulate it, opposing the gas station, that we circulate it among the committee, and that we get everyone an opportunity to weigh in.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a motion, or did I
No.
just leave off in mid-sentence or something?
Um,
That's a motion. I second it if
Okay.
put it in a motion form.
okay, that sounds good.
Anyone opposed? No, okay, so it's up.
All right.
And by the way, I brought the donuts tonight, so don't worry.
Oh, good.
In absentia.
So I just want to let you know, Ray, that I was invited to do a little presentation to zoning the other day
Oh,
about Halls Road. I was warned not to talk about the gas station, so we didn't touch on that topic, but we did talk about how is the zoning going to work. I mean, now that we have a master plan coming with zoning language that should be included in that, they said what you need to do is bring the document they work on to us, and then we'll review it and come back with any suggestions, and so that it's more of a give and take. So our little zoning committee really can't do anything until BSC gives us some material to work with.
Yes. Yes,
Then we can
that's-
start looking at it and reading through it.
Yes.
I asked BSC, I mentioned to them the question of the gas station, and do you have any way of building into a zoning code something about a gas station? How close can they be together? He said they're very difficult things to make legal, and that they're you can't really put it into zoning, but there's some guidelines that you can include it in. I'm just trying to find out, what did he say to me here?
While you're looking,
I'm looking for my questions on this and I don't see it.
my question, I have, while you're looking at that,
Yeah.
before Edie, I'll give you a breather here. My question is there, for instance, now what if across the street, the property for sale, someone else decided, gee, we have 2 gas stations, let's make this into a major stop and let's
Yeah.
buy that and have a 3rd gas station. Is there any zoning regulations that would prohibit that? Does anyone know? Or
There
plan?
are none. The only,
So,
the only
so someone could
regulation-
decide to make Old Line a truck stop along 95 and basically have, competition among multiple gas stations.
Right. Apparently there are not, there's no ruling on that. The only ruling there is how close a proximity of liquor stores you can have on Olds Road. So you can't drink, but you can have lots of gas stations.
Yeah, right.
But I did ask BSC to get going on the zoning piece of their work. It was always sort of looked at as a phase 3, and I'm like, no, and Michael did agree that the even if they don't have a drawing completed yet, they do know what elements we're trying to get to, and that their planning folks could start working on that zoning sooner than later. There isn't really something we can do that says you can't have a gas station this close to each other, but there was something he told me about, and I'm unable to find it at the moment, but I think he said you can establish a district now with one, no, that's what he was dreaming about. That's right. He corrected himself on that.
It's probably the architectural guidelines. The question is, whether we punt to one like the one at Hartford Avenue, where they said, oh, well, you just get somebody that is I don't know what, somebody that's in that business, and they get to approve it. We'd have to have a little harder hurdle clear if we're going to rely on that and say, hey, a gas station really doesn't look much like a colonial building or a Victorian building. So I don't know. But again,
Yeah.
it's probably not enforceable, but it could slow things down dramatically, I would think, if we had it in place, which we don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the problem. I think if you had someone competing with the guys wanting to do the gas station that wanted to do some kind of residential mixed use thing, all of a sudden, Essex Savings Bank would say, we can make more money on this. Why do we want to sell it to this gas station?
Right.
And those are it's the competition that's going to protect us more than something else. And that's why we need to get the zoning in place before that can happen,
True.
But that's, we can't control time. We can only get it together and keep working towards what we're working towards to make it possible for this to become an interesting thing for developers to want to do some good work here.
Well, if you get from BSC between now and next meeting, let me know. And if you come up with what they indicated was a possibility, let me know. I have an old friend who's over in the Darien planning department, and he might be able to put a sharp point on whatever it is that they're. But I don't even know what to ask him right now. Although I'll pose this kind of a question and ask him how Darien handled.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be far less what we can do because it just won't happen in time. I think basically Halls Road can take a stand on what we think is right or wrong on this street. And I think that's very important for us to say that. But I think on the other hand, we don't have any clout. We're not a zoning committee. We're not we're just a bunch of people who want to see something good happen here. And that's what we've got to offer and the best we can do. So, I think we're heading in the right direction with the master plan. And, what if we had to have a gas station there, would there be a way to have a conversation with Big Y Express and ask them to put the convenience store against the road instead of in the background? So we have another wall of parking lot stuff. And the whole idea of trying to go off onto 156 is a traffic nightmare. It's nuts. Nobody wants to do that. Better would be to connect it over to Huntley Road, which would be a good idea, but that's already private property, so it's not going to happen.
In a sense, we don't have explicit authority, but I think we do have some credibility on the authority issue. I mean, we have the survey, the business and resident survey. We conducted open houses. We polled the businesses on Halls Road. We did presentations to the Chamber of Commerce, the Senior Center, others. We've made a whole bunch of presentations and had the ability to get a lot of input. So in a sense, we have a pretty good sense. We've approached this project very carefully, and we've really think we've attained the input from the community of what they want to see there, and we have an obligation to do that. And so I think we don't have official authority, but I think we have credibility on the authority issue because we've done all that work.
Yes.
Yeah. So Deb, you wanted to say something?
Edie, I was just wondering for the public hearing, will you or Howard, I guess you're the chairwoman, would you be mentioning our stand on the 23rd during that public hearing?
I can try if it seems appropriate, but this is really more of a scientific study situation than public opinion.
Right,
and
of course,
they were
because it's
pretty
wetland.
explicit about, this, don't come to us with your problem. I mean, I'm certainly going to go to the meeting.
Okay.
But, I don't know that we can actually have a voice.
Right,
I reached out to a guy who
I think it would be more appropriate if there was a meeting where they were asking for input from planning or zoning to at least give an opinion whether we think this fits whatever the master plan is.
Right, because you're right.
But this is, as Dee Dee says,
It's
this
wetlands,
is
yeah.
more whether salamanders are gonna die and it's very interesting you raise that. I lived a number of years ago in Lyme and they wanted to build a gravel pit. And off next to the forest and the state land. And what defeated that, and they were gonna bring, 30 trucks a day hauling
Sure,
gravel out.
sure.
And what defeated that was the salamanders. The
Okay.
tree frogs and salamanders were protected. And that's, and
Right,
that's what defeated that project.
Howard, it's not a coincidence, I don't think. But I know, because my husband has property in Lyme, and he said by accident he killed this big spotted salamander while he was brush hogging, and he said he felt terrible. So they're up there, they're around, and they're on this property, the adjoining property, the budding property owner has the spotted
Yeah,
salamander.
and as Evan Griswold said to me, well, they may be spawning in that pond, but that doesn't mean that they're going to stop at the driveway going out to 156. Oh, we don't go there. I mean, they go all around in there. They're not just in one pond.
Right. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So I think that's kind of. There's only one last thing on our list here for the agenda, and that is the Old Lyme Shopping Center signage update. I did get back a price from the sign guy about a temporary sign. It was way too high and probably not something individual businesses would want to invest in. So I took the next route, which was to approach the owners. And I sent them the second drawing that was how to renovate the ugly sign that's there today. And I sent it to Serena, and she liked it. And then I said, would you like me to help get this priced out for you? Or, and then she was concerned that there's so much stringent sign ordinances here that they would never be able to change their sign. So I talked with Dan Beret, who is the CEO officer, and asked him about that. And he said, well, it's a non-conforming existing sign. If they're just renovating it, it's not going to run into any trouble at all. So I let her know that. Asked her to give me a call if she wanted to talk more about it, and never heard back. So we may still hear back from them, and that would be a good thing. So we could at least, her one question was, you've only got four businesses on here. Don't we need more? Well, that's all they have today. And I said, I'm not convinced that you would put every single business in the Old Lyme Shopping Center listing on your sign, but maybe you charge people for that listing, and that way you can weed out which people want to pay for it and which don't. So it's in the report, but at least we've made a few steps forward on the sign. So we really use some help.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
That's really proactive.
Any other business, you guys?
I don't think so.
Okay. Do you want to make a motion to adjourn, or?
And Edie, just to remind everybody, maybe send out an email about the 23rd and 6 o'clock and the link, and have people send it to their contacts to, get as many people, because, I think there's going to be a lot of people interested in this. So, whether
Is that a virtual meeting? I'm going to be in California.
it is.
Yeah.
Yep, the link is already up there on the website.
Good.
Yeah, I'll send a reminder to everyone, and Howard's also an EDC with me, and we can do it to those guys
Okay,
too.
great, perfect.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, so motion to adjourn, or?
Yes, I move to adjourn.
Okay,
Second, yeah.
okay,
All right. Thank
meeting
you.
adjourned.
Okay.
See you on the
Okay.
paper.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Deb.
You're welcome. Thank you.